I guess I always grew up knowing I wanted to ultra run. My mom always tells me that when I was like 7 or 8 that we were watching a video or a movie about an ultra runner, and I turned to her and said that one day I'll run 100 miles. And she kind of laughed it off, and then I think as I got older she realized I was actually serious. So I've been ultra running for 6 or 7 years now. I've done a few 50 milers, some training for a 100-mile race, and I ran the Oregon Coast Trail last summer. So that's about 400 miles. Yeah, I guess my first race ever, I got up one Saturday and decided to run a marathon to see how it was. And then the week after, we drove down to the Grand Canyon, and a few of my friends hiked it, and I decided to run it. So I took 32 ounces of water, 1 avocado, and one bagel, and thought that was going to be enough for 50 miles. And at about mile 35, I bonked and hit the wall, and just ended up slogging it out to the end. There was a guy named Jim that I met along the way, and he gave me a bag of salted peanuts. And I've never tasted better salted peanuts in my life. Yeah, it was incredible. It was the hardest thing I've ever done, but it kind of lit the fire in me to do stuff like that. And from there on out, I've just been signing up for races or running on my own, like rim to rim, and just trying to get better every day. A lot of the lessons I've learned in ultra running have come from other people, whether it was the guy named Jim in the Grand Canyon when I ran my first 50, that he didn't have to stop. He saw that I was hitting the wall and pretty wrecked. And he ended up, after giving me those salted peanuts, that he ran with me the last 17 miles. And every time that I had to stop because I was nauseous or I was dizzy, he stopped with me, and he would pull off to the side of the trail and he would pray for me as I was not feeling good, and then we'd keep running. So people just have really big hearts, and it's a community that all pulls together. So yeah, the running community is incredible. And I feel like ultra running teaches you to get kicked in the face and then be able to keep going. Most of the time I would run a 50 miler and then be on the couch for the next 2 weeks. So I kind of had to learn how to keep walking, keep running when it hurt, how to keep eating, and to navigate the highs and lows. For me, I am able to go to just like I call it a dark place, or the pain cave, that it's just me versus my mind at that point. I think sometimes we try and avoid suffering. It makes sense. It's painful, it's uncomfortable, and we don't want to do it. But I think that one of the most beneficial things we can learn in life is to lean into the uncomfortable and lean into the unknown. Sometimes it's really nice to just be okay with the silence. And I feel like that is one of the crucial things that I've learned, is that a lot of times we just need to stop. And for me, stopping is running for lots of hours, because that's where the magical and the chills up your spine moments happen, is when you're pushing on the edge of what you think is possible and what your mind thinks is possible, what your body thinks is possible. And once you've reached that point and you're kind of teetering, if you can just keep pushing a little bit farther, that's where you're able to learn about yourself, about the world, and figure out where your limits are, and eventually realize you don't actually have limits. It's just learning to keep going step by step and keep pushing.